Picture this. You are standing in the middle of a city that is crumbling and rebuilding itself at the same time. The air smells like horse manure, sawdust, and something burning in the distance. Half-finished marble columns rise from muddy streets. Soldiers in brand new blue uniforms march past women in enormous hoop skirts. And somewhere in that chaos, in a White House that is more crowded than a hotel and more dangerous than a battlefield, a tall, exhausted man from Illinois is trying to hold an entire nation together with nothing but his voice, his will, and whatever God decides to give him that morning. That man is Abraham Lincoln. That city is Washington, D.C. And the year is 1861. Welcome to a world that most history books describe, but very few people have ever truly seen. Until now. Today on Civil War A1 Timeline, we are doing something different. We have used artificial intelligence to reconstruct Abraham Lincoln's Washington, D.C. in 1861. And what we found, what these AI-generated images revealed, is going to change the way you think about the Civil War, about Lincoln, and about what it actually meant to live inside the most dangerous political moment in American history. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you are going to feel like you walked those streets yourself. Let's start with the city. When most people imagine Washington, D.C., they imagine power, grandeur, white marble monuments, and clean, wide avenues. The reality of 1861 was almost nothing like that. The Washington that Lincoln arrived in was a city that was, quite literally, unfinished. The Capitol building itself had no dome. It was sitting there like an open wound, scaffolding wrapped around the rotunda, cranes poking up into the sky. Construction workers showed up every morning, just like the soldiers did. Both groups building something they weren't sure would survive the year. Lincoln made a deliberate decision to keep construction going, even as the war began. That finishing the Capitol was and to the world, that the Union was going to endure. Every rivet, every stone hauled up those scaffolds was a political statement. Now picture the streets. The National Mall, which today is a pristine stretch of grass, flanked by museums, in 1861 was a swamp. Literally. The Tiber Creek ran through parts of it. There was a canal that smelled so bad in summer that the stench reached the White House windows. And cattle grazed on the open ground between the Washington Monument, which was also half-built and abandoned, and the Capitol. Show something that photographs from the era only hint at but can't fully capture, that defined this city. Mud everywhere, too. By the end of the year, it would swell to more than double that as regiments poured in from every northern state. As freed and escaped enslaved people made their way to the city looking for safety and a new life. As politicians, lobbyists, spies, and journalists crowded into boarding houses and hotels that could not possibly hold them all. The city changed faster than any city in America had ever changed before. And most of it was happening under enormous pressure, with cannon fire sometimes audible from across the Potomac. Because this might be the single most surprising thing in all of our AI reconstruction work. The White House in 1861 was not the secure, carefully guarded residence you know today. It was essentially open to the public. Lincoln held public visiting hours. Citizens walked in off the street, waited in line sometimes for hours, and came face to face with the President of the United States to ask him for jobs, for pardons, for letters of recommendation, for help finding missing sons. Lincoln called these sessions his public opinion baths. He genuinely believed he needed to feel the pulse of ordinary people, and he sat through those sessions even when he was exhausted, even when the war news was devastating, even when members of his cabinet thought he was wasting time he couldn't afford. For the seat of executive power. The wallpaper was peeling in some rooms. Mary Todd Lincoln launched a campaign to redecorate, which became when it went over budget during wartime. The East Room was used as a barracks by New York troops early in the conflict, soldiers sleeping on the cooking in the fireplaces. The building that was supposed to project the dignity of democratic governance smelled like a camp. and looked like a very large, very stressed household, is the texture of daily life in that White House. The way off the staircase Lincoln descended every morning to face looked both and immense. We are not talking about here. We are talking about a dealing with a catastrophe, one decision at a time. Now let's move beyond the White House to the broader city and what was happening at street level. Washington in 1861 was a border city in every sense. It was surrounded by slave states, Maryland on one side, Virginia on the other, and Virginia seceded in April of 1861, which meant that suddenly the capital of the United States was looking across the Potomac at enemy territory. You could stand on the roof of the White House and see Confederate flags flying. The city felt it. The social fabric tore in ways that were personal and immediate. Officers who had been friends at West Point were now on opposite sides. Families split. Neighbors stopped speaking. Enslaved people in the district itself, Washington had not yet abolished slavery in 1861, were watching everything that was happening and calculating, waiting, making decisions of their own that history often leaves out of the main story. That began forming on the edges of the city as the war progressed. Tell a story that our AI reconstructions try to honor. Who had been enslaved made their way to Washington, to freedom that was not yet legally guaranteed, but was practically within reach. They built communities. They opened schools. They worked for the Union Army as laborers, cooks, scouts, and spies. They were present in Lincoln's Washington in enormous numbers, and their presence was shaping the political debate that would eventually lead to the Emancipation Proclamation. But in 1861, Lincoln wasn't ready to issue it yet, and part of the reason was geography. He was standing in a city that felt surrounded. He was managing a war that wasn't going well. He was dealing with generals who were cautious to the point of paralysis, with a cabinet full of men who thought they should have been president instead of him, with a public that swung between demanding aggressive action and panicking when that action produced casualties. The pressure in that city in that year was unlike anything the country had experienced before. The city kept building. The Capitol dome kept rising. Soldiers kept drilling on the open fields. Newspapers kept publishing. Churches kept filling on Sundays. Restaurants and theaters stayed open. People fell in love, got married, and had children in 1861 Washington, which tells you something true and important about human beings. Life does not stop for history, even when history is enormous. What we have tried to do with this video, with these AI reconstructions and the research behind them, is close the distance between you and that moment. History presented as dates, names, generals, and battles stays at a distance. History reconstructed visually, where you can see the mud on the streets, the scaffolding on the Capitol, and the look of a city holding its breath. That history reaches you differently. It asks something more of you. It asks you to imagine what it felt like. We are just getting started with this project. Over the coming weeks and months on Civil War AI Timeline, we are going to take you to every corner of this conflict, city by city, year by year, person by person. We are going to show you what Gettysburg looked like the morning before the battle. We are going to walk you through Richmond at the height of Confederate confidence and at the moment of its collapse. We are going to show you the faces and the places that made 1860. If you want to experience the Civil War in a way that no textbook has ever made possible, subscribe to Civil War AI Timeline right now. Hit that because these videos are coming and you do not want to miss a single one. This is history the way it actually looked, and we are just getting started.